Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome as we start another week of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours, and how could it not be with the Louisiana State University Lady Basketball Tigers bringing home a national championship. First in the history of the program. As a matter of fact, the first for any basketball, male or female, at Louisiana State University. We are scheduled to have with us this morning for this segment in Louisiana News, because obviously that is the big story in Louisiana, Jonathan Poche to join us from Tigers Roar, along with the spicy guy himself, Buddy Sanji. Marty, do we have Jonathan yet? That must be a no, because Marty's ignoring me over on the other side of the curtain. You think maybe if I throw my ink pen at him, he'll he'll wake up and realize what's going on? Maybe. Maybe not. All right. Now they tell me. All right. Well, we're going to move Jonathan to the second segment. Now, you know what that means, right, Marty? That's just stupid. But we'll do it just because it's Jonathan. Louisiana News. It's as though the old folks will tell you bad news comes in threes. And right on the heels of Baton Rouge losing 2 BRPD pilots to a horrific crash, this weekend, a Lafourche Parish deputy losing his life when his vehicle was rammed by a fleeing suspect. Sheriff Craig Weber identifying the slain officer as 44-year-old Detective Sergeant Nicholas Pepper, saying, quote, "Nick epitomized all that is honored and revered in a peace officer. The tremendous outpouring of love and gratitude from the community is truly appreciated. I ask that you continue to keep Sergeant Nick Pepper and his family, as well as our Sheriff's Office family, in your thoughts and prayers." The perpetrator of this horrific crime has been arrested. His identity, however, has not been released just yet. Obviously, we will keep an eye on this as it all unfolds, and we will pass that information along to you and yours. Speaking of horrible cases, I'm sure that you remember the most horrific case out of New Orleans, where 4 teenagers carjacked a 73-year-old woman. She ends up, as they try to make their getaway, trapped in the seatbelt. They speed off anyway and end up separating her arm from her body, and she bled out on scene. Well, the Louisiana Supreme Court has now delayed the trial for 3 of the teenagers accused in the dragging death of Linda Fricky, the 73-year-old. The trial was supposed to have begun yesterday, on Monday, but potential jurors were told you got to leave the courtroom just before 10 a.m. after the state's highest court put a stay on the trial. It was reportedly delayed due to an issue regarding some forensic evidence that allegedly was submitted too close to the trial. The Louisiana Fourth Circuit Court of Appeal reversed that judge's decision, and the Supreme Court, highest court in Louisiana, is now considering the matter. I can't begin to imagine the pain this family is going through. To gird yourself up for the start of the trial, only to have the trial delayed. It is something I can't begin to imagine what that family is going through. I guess all that we can do at this point is to keep them in both our thoughts and in our prayers, and hopefully this entire ugly episode will be put to rest. Justice will be served as soon as humanly possible. Just saying. Finally, in other Louisiana news, I guess you could put this one under the heading, "Some People Never Learn." In recent memory, we've had 3 that come to mind, maybe 2, just in Iberville Parish, where individuals employed at the parish prison thought they were smarter than everybody else and could sneak drugs into that detention facility. Well, it's now spread to Assumption Parish. The Assumption Parish Detention Center announcing, the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office, 38-year-old Don Schumann, who worked as a food service employee, although she was hired by a private contractor, was arrested after attempting to smuggle meth and drug paraphernalia into the facility. Law enforcement was tipped off that y'all might want to take a look at her because she might be bringing drugs into the facility. So, prudent as they are, they brought in a K-9 unit to search her car out in the parking lot. Sure enough, they found both methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia in her vehicle. She was at work at the time and was fired immediately. Also arrested for taking contraband to and from a penal institution, possession of methamphetamine, and drug paraphernalia. Like I said, some people figure they're smarter than everybody else, / some of you idiots just never learn. First break of today's show. I know it's Tuesday, but we're juggling things around a little bit. We're going to push back, now that's just stupid, to the third segment. Second segment, Jonathan Poche will join us. Are you sure this time? That's next when we continue the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda. every time.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Man, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun, too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5, named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. No, that's just stupid, not this segment. That's coming up next segment. So be sure you stay close. I am joined by the man, the young brother. You know him as the co-host of Tiger's Roar, along with the spicy one himself, Buddy Sanjay. Welcome to the Clarence Bug Show yet again, Jonathan Poche. How are you, fella?
I'm doing great, CB. Thanks for having me.
2 years and a national championship. Unreal.
No, absolutely unbelievable. And the introductory press conference with Kim Mulkey, she was asking why she came back home, and she pointed up to the banners and said, look at all those Final Four banners up there. None of them say national championship. That's why I am here. And she told us it is not going to happen overnight. You have to be patient. But, of course, Kim Mulkey wasn't patient herself. Had to get it done in year 2.
So you pulled this off in 2 years. Does that now set the bar so freaking high, or is Kim the kind of person that relishes the fact that bar is up here, gives us something else to shoot for?
Well, she kind of said that her team kind of laid the groundwork for this season last year. It was a program that she took over after only winning 9 games the season before from Coach Nikki Fargas, who somehow ended up on ESPN with a talking gig, but that's another story. So Kim Mulkey built on last year, and the players in the past, obviously, the Simone Augustus's that was in the stands for the Final Four and in tears at the LSU won a championship. First championship in men's or women's history. To answer your question, she was asked a question after the game, does winning the championship in year 2 kind of fast-track your thoughts about retirement or hanging it up, or does this drive you even more? Coach Mulkey is not concerned about a timetable for coaching. She said that, she never intended to be a coach. She was kind of talked into being a coach after her days of playing at Louisiana Tech. And, I think this just raises the bar so much higher. You bring the #1 recruiting class in the nation before you win the national championship, and expectations are going to be very high next year. They were high this season, and Coach Kim Mulkey kind of didn't want to get that, feed the beast too fast, she said, but it's over and done with now.
You mentioned the fact that when you think about a Kim Mulkey, you automatically think winner. I think you and I had a conversation before the very first game, and we were both of the opinion, if there's anybody that can pull this off, she is the one. Now, that being said, doing this in 2 years, 9 new players with the #1 recruiting class in the nation set to come to LSU next year, you got to think it's not going to stop just there. I mean, you look at the coverage that was on ESPN, the viewership, you got to be thinking that there's some young ladies somewhere around the country that are thinking, transfer portal.
Well, not only the success on the court, obviously national champions, but you talk about Flower J. Johnson and Angel Reese to Bayou Barbie, who's, I think, 17th in all of college athletes, men or women, in NIL money. I mean, she is getting it done off the court, building her brand like you can't do in many places like you can do at LSU. LSU provides resources for these students where they teach them how to manage their brand and, secure these NIL deals. So they really help the kids out. But it's really up to the kid now how far they want to push this, how hard they want to grind, how much they want to hustle. And Angel Reese, certainly a good example of what you can build at LSU for your brand.
Are we witnessing the beginning of a dynasty?
I certainly hope so. You talk about the 9.9 million people that watched that championship game, more than the men's game, more than any NBA game this season, more than the 2023 Sugar Bowl, 2023 Rose Bowl. There was not a seat that you could buy the day of the game that was less than $450. Tickets for the women's game are going more than the tickets for the men's game. So, birth of a dynasty would be awesome for the program, but also awesome for women's basketball. There's so much hype going into it right now. A lot of excitement. It was a good brand of basketball. It wasn't a boring game.
Oh no!
Jasmine Carson 5 for 5 for 3 in the second quarter. They're always against the knock against women kind of in the passes, or they can't shoot the ball like girls. Well, I mean, shoot the ball like boys. Well, you saw Caitlin Clark do what she did the entire tournament, averaged 32 points a game in the tournament, had 30 against LSU, lit it up from deep. It's a different day and age for the women's basketball game.
You mentioned the women's game. I will be the first to admit that I had an emotional investment in this game. Being a Louisiana boy, being an LSU fan, being a Kim Mulkey fan, I'll be the first to admit I was invested emotionally in them winning that game. So last night, I sit down to watch the men. I didn't make it halfway through the first stanza, and I'm looking for the remote because the game, to me, was nowhere near as interesting as the women's game. Am I off base here because of my emotional investment, or was it just a better game than the men's game?
Well, I'm sure the UConn fans out there thought it was a great game. Outside the UConn Husky fans, I thought it was a boring game as well. Now, the men and women, they played at a different pace. They get the ball up and down the court faster. They're more aggressive on defense. They're bumping and pushing, and it's a different game. But I thought the women's championship was far more entertaining than the men's game. Outside, like I said, the UConn fandom, I don't know who could tell you that game was more entertaining or had more at stake than the women's.
You gotta tip your hat out of all of this. Kim is who Kim is. The players are who they are. But the fan base at Louisiana State University for women's basketball, can you overstate how important they were in this run?
Right. Well, no, you really can't. I mean, you go back to last year and the support that they started gaining. And Kateri Poole was a young lady that was on Ohio State's team, and she came into play against LSU and saw the support, saw the fans, and really thought that, man, I kind of want to be a part of that. And sure enough, transfer portal, here she comes, Kim Mulkey, and now she's national championship. Actually, Kateri Poole was the one who put the dagger in the game, that three that kind of sent Coach Kim Mulkey into tears with a minute left, whatever it was, 58 seconds left in the game. So certainly a lot of full circle moments. You talk about Alexis Morris and being dismissed from 2018, 2019 Baylor team under Coach Kim Mulkey and making that full circle back. Kind of unbelievable how she was able to take over the game, not only guard Caitlin Clark the entire game, but had a little foul trouble, came back in, played smart, played good D, but then her mid-game range, the runner at the end. I mean, she took over offensively for LSU and really sealed up that championship for them.
You have done some coaching, not on the level, obviously, of what we're talking about here, but on a lower level. the story of Alexa being kicked off the team because in Kim Mulkey's words, not mine, she was a cancer in the locker room. For her to turn around and allow this young lady, after becoming a journey, I guess I have to say journey woman,
right,
going around to different teams, is that one of the most gratifying elements that you will ever find in coaching?
Well, you certainly want to make an impact on the kids that you coach, not only on the court or the field, but try to make them be a better person. Kind of mature them a little bit if you can.
Right.
Obviously, Coach Kim Mulkey is also giving credit to Alexis Morris, who deserves a lot of credit. I mean, a lot of kids that in that position get dismissed from a team. They want to blame the coach, want to blame the situation, want to blame everything else besides themselves. And that's not who Alexis Morris was. And that goes back to her parents. I mean, her parents contacted Kim Mulkey and were like, look, she needs you in her life. Alexis Morris contacted Coach Mulkey and was like, look, I need you in my life. And then it was kind of a match where Coach Kim needed a point guard and Alexis Morris needed somebody who really cared about her. And obviously, Coach Kim Mulkey showed that she cared about her not only as a player but as a person from a very young child. She knew her in the 7th grade. And to come full circle, it's got to be one of the most remarkable stories in women's basketball.
And it also says something, does it not, that in the age of the transfer portal, where if you enjoy any success, you can get pretty much whatever you need at any given moment. For her being Coach Kim, to realize, you know what, she's grown.
Yep.
She's owned her mistakes. She's stepping up to the plate. I've got a place for her. That speaks volumes about Kim Mulkey as a person.
Well, Kim Mulkey's also a parent who has kids that were athletes and understand that kids make mistakes. And when you know somebody since they were in the 7th grade and here you are as a senior in college, that's a long relationship.
That's a long one.
And you're not allowed to talk to student athletes that are at different schools. So when Alexis Morris was at Rutgers and Texas A&M, there wasn't contact per the rules.
Right.
But after there was an opening where there was talks about coming back, then you kind of refacilitate that. It's more than just a coach-player relationship. It's a motherly-daughterly kind of relationship. So yeah, it's really awesome.
As much as I'm tempted to, I'm going to stay completely away from the whole thing, because for me that's that's a classic example of somebody looking to hate, and that's all they could find.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to be also another person that's only talking about the Alexis Morris, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark incident. The game was so great, and what LSU was able to do in the year 2 under Coach Kim Mulkey. Look, Iowa beats South Carolina. The consensus around the league was it was South Carolina and everyone else.
Yep.
So I think Iowa kind of spent their wad against South Carolina a lot of emotionally and physically. But look, Jasmine Carson, I got to give her a shout out, was the starting shooting guard for Coach Kim Mulkey for most of the season. You get into the tournament, you're going to take on Michigan for the Sweet 16. Michigan has a large backcourt, big, tall girls, big girls. So you need a bigger body. So you bring in Kateri Poole, and she stays the starter throughout the tournament.
Right.
And Jasmine Carson only had like 6 points, I think, in the previous 3 games. Never hung her head.
Right.
And when she stepped in, 5 for 5 for 3, had 21 points. Was the leading scorer, 22 points actually on the game off the bench. In a time where you have 3 starters on the bench, Coach Kim Mulkey's thinking, just keep it close till I get my starters back in.
Right.
But LSU only grew the lead to 17. Did get nervous at halftime. All the talking heads were saying this is going to be the biggest comeback in championship history if Iowa can do it. Of course, they go on that run. You knew they were going to go on runs with shooting all those threes.
Basketball's a game of runs.
They close it down to 7, and then Alexis Morris takes over. So, and I will say about the Angel Reese situation, there's been a lot of hate cast her way. She is an athlete. Every athlete is different.
And they all talk smack on the floor.
I wish it hadn't been captured on camera with her doing the John Cena. I understand Caitlin Clark also did the same thing. Obviously, it's not the same situation. You're up by 15 points in a championship game versus like in the flow of talking trash.
Right.
But it's part of sports. It is part of sport. You can't hold it against Angel Reese for doing exactly the same thing as every other athlete does. Your emotions are so. If your emotions aren't jacked up through the roof for a championship game, you're in the wrong profession. That's exactly right.
Where can folks catch you and the Bud Man?
That's right. We do Tigers Roar right here from Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We do them just about each and every Wednesday. Sometimes we have, it's real life.
I understand.
But you can check it out on Pelican Sports TV Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Also replays through the weekend, but also go to our YouTube page page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. They're all archived there for you viewing pleasure. So go check it out. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. While you're at the page, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe. It'll help us out with the algorithm. We certainly appreciate it.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say y'all will probably get a lot more in-depth into this conversation than we had with just one segment.
We certainly will be talking a lot of LSU women's basketball, along with LSU baseball is really doing great right now. #1 in the nation, just to beat the Tennessee team, who's very talented with a Tony Vitello head coach. LSU spring football is underway. They've been moving along over there on the football field. We'll hear from Coach Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, here on Tigers Roar later this evening. So tune in, Tigers Roar, Wednesday, 8 o'clock, also replay through the weekend.
One last quick one. What do you think it's going to be like in the Maravich Assembly Center for the first game next season?
Well, it's going to be wild. I mean, you're going to unveil the banner, and the girls are going to get their rings. They've been calling for them since they were in the Final Four. It's going to be absolutely raucous. It's going to be standing room only. It's going to be a very tough ticket to get. And, I mean, they're going to have the crazies that are in the student section who have really taken on a life of their own this season for Coach Kim Mulkey.
I'm going to channel my inner Joe Biden. I said that was the last question, but I lied. Any idea how long the girls had been taking the Sharpie and drawing a ring on their fingers?
I really can't answer that question. I saw Alexis Morris do it. I think it was to go to the Final Four. I don't know how long they've been doing it. Look, that's supreme confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Athletes need supreme confidence.
And it's also psyching yourself out.
Yeah,
if we do our thing the way we're capable of doing, come the end of the season, we won't have to draw one on anymore. We'll have a real one.
Well, I know we both believe in a higher power, CB. We're both pretty spiritual. And, if you believe it, you can achieve it. And that's the first step. You got to believe it's possible. And I think Coach Kim Mulkey really instilled in these girls that, look, we got some ballers in this room.
Oh, yeah.
You got to give her a lot of credit. In this new age of every kid is so soft and wants to transfer as soon as something goes wrong or go to social media, complain about the program or the coach, throw somebody under the bus. She is an old school coach that wants to get all up in one of her players when they're not doing what they're supposed to.
Kids love her for
Absolutely. It takes a certain breed of athlete to be able to thrive under that pressure. But obviously, those are called champions.
Just a little something that maybe some parents out there could learn a lesson from. Just saying. But appreciate you, as always. Quick break. When we come back, Tuesday. You know what that means, right? Yep, it's another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's next as we continue the Clarence Bug Show. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You could be driving. Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. We had to do a little bit of a juggling act. We weren't able to get to Not As Just Stupid as we normally do in the second segment, but we're not going to let it go unscathed. We'll do it now. We start, and if you're new to the show, by the way, understand something here. When we say, Now That's Just Stupid, we're not talking regular, ordinary, run-of-the-mill stupid. God knows there is enough of that going around in this country and the planet. But what we're talking about here, as the graphic shows you, requires its own spelling, its own word. S-T-O-O-P-I-D, as in, now that's just stupid. We start, and I guess they're going to have to change their moniker. We start with the king of beers, Budweiser, announcing that they have hired Dylan Mulvaney, noted transgender guy that thinks he's a woman, to help them sell Bud Light. Now, one of two things has apparently happened here. Either Bud Light has obviously decided to go full bore on the whole trans bandwagon, or they are making so much money that they don't care that folks are going to start boycotting their beer. You know, it occurred to me in reading this story, this sort of stuff can only happen when you allow it. Rest assured, ask Victoria's Secret what happens when you go woke. What's the saying, Marty? Go woke, go broke. You can expect in the near future to see folks of all walks of life boycotting Budweiser, and rightfully so. I've never been a Bud fan, so it's no sweat off my back one way or the other. But if I can ditch NASCAR, a beer is the easiest thing in the world for me to do without. To heck with Budweiser. But, hey, it's their company. They can do what they want. Just seems as though they didn't put a whole lot of thought into this one before carrying it out. Secondly, NBC News has reported the Chinese spy balloon. Surprise, surprise, Joe Biden and the White House lied once again about the seriousness of the matter. Like that comes as a big surprise to you. The White House told anybody that would listen, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not anything, you know, concerning our national security. We were able to block the gathering of intelligence. When NBC News tells Joe Biden that's a lie, you know it's a whopper. It's a real big one. 2 current senior intelligence administrators, and 1 former intelligence administrator saying, Marty's favorite phrase, well, you see what had happened was they actually did gather intelligence. As a matter of fact, the Chinese spy balloon flew multiple times over sensitive military installations and was able to immediately transmit the information gathered back to China. You know, as a child, most of us learned early on in life that had decent parents. The worst thing you can do is lie to somebody, especially when the person you're lying to knows you're lying. You know you're lying. They know you're lying. And many times, you know they know you're lying. But you lie anyway. It doesn't take long before your credibility is completely shot. It's non-existent. And sadly, that's where we find ourselves with Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the entire White House. S-T-O-O-P-I-D. Stoopid. Finally. Marty, if you would do me a big favor and rotate that some. Thank you, sir. Finally, it's like you could make a game show out of this. Let's see what somebody affiliated with the White House is going to say stupid next. Get your bowl of popcorn, get your cold drink, cold beer, not a Bud Light. Because now I guess they identify as the queen of beers. Remember how Bud used to use the moniker, the king of beers? Well, now, apparently, they identify as the queen of beers. But I digress. Jill Biden comes out, and I have to wonder, does she have any clue how insulting this is? Or does she simply not care? Jill Biden comes out and says, I'm going to tell Joe we need to invite Iowa, the women's basketball team, we need to invite them to the White House too, because they played a good game. The ultimate participation trophy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Marty, help me out. In the history of national championships on the collegiate level, or the professional level for that matter, do you ever remember the loser being invited to the White House? No. Do you have any idea how insulting that is? We need to invite Iowa. Yeah, but they lost. Yeah, but they played a good game. Well, why the hell don't we just invite all 64 teams to come to the White House and celebrate? The ultimate participation trophy. I'm trying to figure out how to do this, Marty, because everything's in reverse on camera. Is this... Which one? Loser on camera. Which one is it going to come out right? This one or this one? I'll give them both because she's as big a loser as you will ever encounter. How in God's name are you going to invite the freaking loser to the White House? Now listen, y'all, I'm a big Caitlin Clark fan. I think she's phenomenal. She is probably a generational talent. But in this case, she lost. She's a loser. And you're going to invite her to the White House to celebrate? You know, I've witnessed in my 65 years of life a lot of things in this country. A lot of things that fly in the face of what America is supposed to be about. To my knowledge, and I'm going to apologize in advance if I'm wrong, I don't ever remember inviting the loser to the White House. Says a lot, does it not, about the mindset of these people. And y'all want to get on me, because Clarence, you so hard on liberals. Well, somebody needs to be. You're going to invite the freaking losers to the White House? Of course, now that I think about it, kind of makes sense. We got a loser in the White House. So I guess it makes perfect sense that if we got a loser in the White House and misery loves company, let's invite some more losers to the White House. What did the old folks teach us years ago? It is better to have people think you're a fool and keep your mouth shut than it is to open it and remove all doubt. Invite the freaking losing team to the White House. I can't wait to see what Alan Trailer has to say about that. Just an observation. I already said it. Ultimate participation trophy. And we wonder why countries all over the world look at us the way they do now. Just an observation. Final break of today's show. I was hoping that by the time we finished recording today's show, we would have more information on the arraignment of former President Donald Trump. Looking at the monitors here at Old School Barbecue, hasn't happened yet, but want to share some thoughts with you on this and our country when we come back for the final segment of the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreysstoneCountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With private healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Buck Show. I was just sneaking a peek at one of the monitors here at Old School Barbecue, saying the graphic says, soon, Trump's departure for New York City courthouse. I, as an American, cannot begin to describe what this day has done to my country. This is easily, well, let me back up. With the exception of the horrific terrorist attacks on 9/11, this is hands down the saddest day in the history of my country. This shows in no uncertain terms, y'all, whether you realize it or not, acknowledge it or not, appreciate it or not. This shows that Democrats will stoop as low as humanly possible and lower in their efforts to keep Donald Trump out of office. Donald Trump told us early in his tenure, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way. When you look at what the district attorney in New York, Alvin Bragg, has done, 34 felony counts. It is as plain as the nose on your face that this is purely a political witch hunt. As a matter of fact, Representative Jamal Bowman, day before yesterday, let the quiet part slip out loud. He said, and I quote, just in case you have any doubt on whether or not this is all political and whether or not it is actually election interference, Representative Bowman said, and I quote, it's time that we ensure Trump is banned from running for any public office again. And from there, finally take action to fix our democracy. You mean fix the democracy so that we don't stop counting votes in the middle of the night anymore? You mean fix our democracy so that we never again have a government, a state government, stop counting votes in the middle of the night, put newspaper over all the windows so you can't see in, and kick out all of the Republican observers. Fixing that democracy? Is that the one you're talking about? Oh, wait, no. Maybe he's talking about fixing the democracy where the FBI has had Hunter Biden's laptop for over 2 years. Recently, we got wind of the emails that show fairly certain dude and his family were all involved in all sorts of illegal activity. Is that the democracy you're talking about fixing? Oh, wait, maybe they're talking about fixing the democracy where 78% of black people in America say, no, we need more police in our neighborhood. We don't need them defunded. We need more police. After all, we have the most crime, but the Democrats say, oh, defund the police, defund. Is that the democracy you're talking about fixing? Just a question. But you know what may be most disturbing of all out of this? And don't misunderstand me. It's disgusting what Alvin Bragg is doing. Did you know this guy last year either downgraded to a misdemeanor or threw out altogether 52% of the felonies that came through his office? 52% of people charged with felonies either had them downgraded to a misdemeanor or thrown out altogether. I guess that's where he found the time to drum up 34 fictitious felonies against the former president. I mean, you weren't prosecuting felonious offenders in your city, so I guess, yeah, you probably had all kinds of free time. But then there's this. Nancy Pelosi, day before yesterday, came out and said, well, Donald Trump can prove his innocence in court. Did you catch that? Now you know why they no longer want to teach physics in school. Civics, forgive me. Now you know. A freaking fifth grader knows one of the things that separates us from every other country out there is the presumption of innocence. We are constitutionally guaranteed the right to be presumed innocent unless and until you are proven guilty. Now, this woman has spent decades as a part of the body politic that makes the laws in this country. And this clown, and I'm being kind, Nancy Pelosi, apparently does not understand, or maybe she thinks you don't understand. Donald Trump doesn't have to prove a damn thing about his innocence. You have to prove his guilt. It has been that way since the founding of this nation. And this ignorant clown would say publicly, well, Donald Trump now has a chance to prove his innocence in court. He don't have to prove a damn thing. You got to prove his guilt. But see, that's what happens when you let Democrats / liberals / progressives, when you elect these clowns and put them in charge. Since the founding of this nation, every single person has enjoyed the presumption of innocence. Now, if you find yourself cheering because Donald Trump has been indicted, you the problem. You are so blinded by the hatred that the media and the Democrats have ginned up in you that you can't see, whoa, wait a minute. This is a blatant, obvious attempt to turn the Constitution on its head. And the fact of the matter is, particularly if you happen to be black like me, if this crap is allowed to stand, you don't have a prayer. If they can do this to Donald J. Trump, imagine what they can do to you or me. Just a little something for you to think about. All of you that's out there cheering, oh, we finally got it. We got it. We got him. You better think again about what you're happy about, because the next time it might be you. And if they can do it to him, you don't have a freaking prayer. But they got your head so screwed up that you didn't take the time to realize, wait a minute, hold on. What these people are doing flies in the face of what this country is all about. And for many of y'all, you won't mind as long as they get him. When they come for you, I hope there's somebody left like us conservatives who will stand up for your rights. God knows your fellow liberals aren't going to do it. They are so busy breaking laws left and right, they don't have time to care about you or defend you. You hadn't figured that out yet? Apparently not, because a whole lot of y'all watching right now, you still voting Democrat. Make me feel like Chris Rock when he said, y'all gonna indict Trump? Are you stupid? Do you know what that will do for his popularity? And I commented at the time, they're liberals. Of course they're stupid. Do you have to ask? The same people that will tell you your son can be your daughter. The same people that have no problem with drag shows for kindergartners. And you have to ask, are they stupid? Of course they're stupid. They're liberals. That's how they roll. Sad day for America. Marty just say, your time up. I gotta go. But you already know the drill. You know what? This day, maybe more so than definitely more than any other day in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. You know the good Lord loves you, and you know I do too. Best news is there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you soon. God bless.